The recent push by President Donald Trump and his cabinet to erase African American history is unfolding before our very eyes. Executive Order 14253, signed by President Trump, laid the groundwork for this erasure by targeting historical narratives the administration deems divisive. Now we are witnessing the direct, unprecedented consequences of that order. The United States Navy is actively weighing a decision to strip the name of Black World War II hero Dorie Miller from the Ford-class aircraft carrier CVN-81. Internal conversations point to renaming this mighty warship after the current living president himself. This is a profound injustice. President Trump and his administration are the biggest reasons for this erasure. They are deliberately dismantling the long-overdue recognition of a man who fought for a country that did not fully fight for him. But I will give the president and his cabinet credit for one thing. Their blatant attempts to bury these stories are dragging the truth right back into the light. The prospect of stripping Miller's name from CVN-81 has reignited the conversation. The more they use Executive Order 14253 to try and erase this history, the louder we will talk about it. And the more we talk about it, the harder it becomes to erase. Let's go back to December 7, 1941, in a segregated military that severely limited the roles of black servicemen. Dorie Miller served as a mess attendant third class aboard the USS West Virginia. Society and the armed forces had strictly defined expectations for African Americans in the military, attempting to confine them to service and labor roles. When the attack on Pearl Harbor began, Miller shattered those expectations. In the midst of chaos, fire, and destruction, Miller and fellow crew members physically carried their mortally wounded commanding officer, Captain Mervyn S. Benyon, to a place of greater safety. He didn't stop there. Taking action that went far above and beyond what his country expected of him, Miller then manned a .50 caliber anti-aircraft gun. Despite having no formal training on the weapon, he laid down effective fire against the incoming Japanese planes until he ran out of ammunition and the order was given to abandon ship. Today, Miller's legacy of going above and beyond is under direct attack by the highest levels of the government he served. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth, Acting Navy Secretary Hung Cao, and the Trump administration's renaming commission are proving that the fight for equal footing in our nation's historical memory is far from over. Miller acted with undeniable heroism on that December morning. Yet his own country initially refused to even speak his name. On January 1, 1942, the Navy released a list of commendations for actions on December 7th. Among the heroes listed was a single commendation for an unnamed black man. Miller's family and community were left with a hero deliberately stripped of his identity. It took the relentless push of the NAACP and the black press, specifically the Pittsburgh Courier, to force the military to acknowledge him. On March 12, an Associated Press story finally named Miller. Revealing his identity became a deeply influential moment, giving the Double V campaign, the fight for victory over fascism abroad and racism at home, undeniable legitimacy. Tragically, history is repeating itself. Because of President Trump's recent executive orders targeting shipbuilding and the ideological push of EO 14253, the Navy has effectively stopped referring to the new aircraft carrier as the USS Doris Miller. Internally, and in recent White House documents, they have reverted to coldly calling it by its hull number, CVN-81. To take an aircraft carrier that marked the very first time an enlisted sailor and an African American was given such a monumental honor, and erase it to flatter a sitting president is an insult to every black service member who has ever worn the uniform. In the days following the revelation of his name in 1942, a massive push from black organizations led President Roosevelt to approve the Navy Cross for Miller, making him the first African American to receive the honor. Admiral Chester Nimitz pinned the medal on Miller during a ceremony aboard a warship at Pearl Harbor. However, a recommendation for the Medal of Honor was denied at the time. Today, to soften the blow of taking away the aircraft carrier, the Trump administration is reportedly considering renaming a different, lesser warship after Miller and finally recommending him for the Medal of Honor. Upgrading his Navy Cross to the Medal of Honor is a move that his family has fought for and is long overdue. But a delayed honor should never be used as a bargaining chip to justify the theft of another. We cannot accept bureaucratic sleight of hand designed to satisfy the ego of the current president at the expense of a black hero's legacy. We cannot allow the narrative of Dorie Miller to be quietly rewritten by Executive Order 14253 or the political whims of President Trump and his cabinet. We have to keep talking about Dorie Miller, the Double V campaign, and the black service members who gave their lives for this nation. At Unknown 49, we believe in telling the whole story. Especially when the highest offices in the land are actively trying to erase it, we will not let them remain unnamed. History shared is history saved.